Imagine for a moment that the day of your birth holds a secret few truly understand. What if I told you that the month you were born is not just a date on the calendar, but a divine message carefully planned by God? The Bible teaches us, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you." Jeremiah 1:5. This means that your life, your destiny, and even the month of your birth were determined with a specific purpose. Nothing in your existence is a coincidence. Every detail from the moment you took your first breath is deeply woven into God's greater plan. Now think about this. Why were you born in that specific month? Could there be a hidden meaning behind your birth that God wants you to uncover? Today, we will dive deep into the Bible to uncover the spiritual and biblical significance behind each birth month. What if I told you that some months point to extraordinary missions, that certain people are born with a purpose that transcends the ordinary? Perhaps you've felt this, an inner sense that you were destined for something greater, something at the very heart of God's will. As we begin this journey, let me tell you something. This video isn't just about curiosity. It's about discovering together how God chose the exact moment of your birth to shape who you are and who He wants you to become. Throughout history, God has used dates, cycles, and seasons as symbols of His intentions. From the beginning of creation, when He separated light from darkness, to the birth of Jesus, every moment was chosen with an eternal purpose, and your birth is part of that story. But here's the secret. The meaning of your birth month isn't something you can grasp superficially. It's something that must be explored deeply. Because as you start connecting the dots, you'll see that God left clear signs about what He expects from you and the gifts He placed within you. And as always, these signs are hidden in plain sight, waiting for those with attentive eyes and an open heart to uncover them. So stay with me until the end of this video because I'll reveal the months that carry the most powerful messages and how they apply to your life. More importantly, you'll discover that no matter when you were born, God gave you a unique mission. Get ready because this journey will change how you see yourself and the purpose you carry. Now, imagine humanity's story being written as a grand book, each page carefully composed by the Creator. Within that book, each person, each life is an essential chapter. Your birth, the day and month you entered this world, is like the opening of a new chapter, an indispensable part of the story God is telling. It doesn't matter where or how you were born. What matters is that God chose that exact moment, that specific point in time, for you to step onto the stage. But why? What is the meaning behind it? If we look at the Bible, we see that God has always worked with times and seasons. Think of creation in Genesis. God separated light from darkness and established the cycles of day and night. He created time as a form of divine organization. But it doesn't stop there. Throughout Scripture, we see God using specific periods, years, months, even days, to fulfill His will. From the establishment of Israel's sacred feasts, each occurring at precise times on the calendar, to the arrival of Jesus into the world, every event was strategically positioned in time. This brings us to a profound question. If God uses time to manifest His plan, does the moment of your birth also carry a purpose? The answer is a resounding yes. The Bible gives us clues that nothing happens by chance. In Psalm 139, we read, "All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be." This means your birth, and the month it occurred, is part of a plan God prepared long before the foundation of the world. Perhaps you've already felt something special about this, but couldn't quite explain it. You may have noticed a unique connection to certain seasons of the year, to nature's rhythms, or even to historical events. Maybe you were born in a month marked by rebirth, change, or biblical celebrations and never truly considered what that means. Today, we will unlock that door and explore how each month reflects an attribute of God, a part of His plan, and most importantly, a piece of who you were called to be. For example, if you were born in January, you didn't just arrive at the start of a new year. January symbolizes beginnings, renewal, creation. It carries the same spirit God infused into the creation of the universe when He said, "Let there be light." Have you noticed that you have a special strength for starting new things? A desire to create, to lead, to make a difference? That's no coincidence. God placed within you a piece of His creative power, something that can bring light into the darkness. But don't think this applies only to one specific month. Each month carries its own unique meaning, a reflection of a divine aspect of God's character. February, for instance, is the month of compassion and harmony. Those born in February often have a special sensitivity, an ability to see what others overlook, to feel what others ignore. But that sensitivity isn't just a human trait, it's a divine gift meant to help you connect with others and bring healing where there's pain. As we continue exploring the months, you'll begin to notice incredible patterns. March, the month of transformation and renewal, reflects the story of Noah and the beginning of a new world after the flood. April, with its deep connection to Easter, symbolizes redemption and rebirth. Each month doesn't merely mark a passage of time, it carries a spiritual weight that can shape who you are and what you are destined to achieve. Here's something to consider. Why has God chosen this specific moment in your life for you to discover this? Why? Out of all the information you could encounter, are you here now, learning about the spiritual meaning of your birth? Perhaps this is a sign that He's trying to open your eyes to something greater. Maybe this is the moment when you start to realize that your birthday is more than just a celebration. It's a reminder of the unique calling God has placed on your life. But let's not stop here. There's something even deeper to uncover. The Bible also shows us that certain days and months are marked by specific missions. People born during these times carry a divine responsibility. Have you ever felt called to something greater? That there's something within you that you just can't ignore? A desire to make a difference, to leave a legacy? If so, your birth month might hold clues to help you understand exactly what that means. While you reflect on this, let me make a promise. By the end of this journey, you won't just understand the spiritual significance of your birth month, you'll see how it connects to a larger purpose. Every detail of your life aligns with God's plan, including the exact moment you entered this world. So stay with me, because the answers you're seeking are closer than you imagine. And believe me, what's coming next will challenge everything you thought you knew about the meaning of your birth. Now that we've begun uncovering the purpose behind your birth month, let's dive even deeper into this divine connection. Have you ever thought about the impact certain dates have had on biblical history? Sacred feasts, transformative events, and even signs in the heavens. All these elements carry a greater meaning. If God's story is written in cycles and seasons, your birth is a reminder that you are part of something far greater than you can imagine. Think of the biblical figures whose lives were shaped by specific moments. David, for example, was anointed king at a time that seemed improbable. Mary, the mother of Jesus, received the angel's announcement at a precise moment when humanity longed for redemption. Even Jesus' birth was no accident. It occurred in the fullness of time, a moment carefully chosen by God to transform the world. Just as He chose those moments, He chose yours. Have you ever felt that there's something special about your life? Perhaps a gift, a talent, or even a natural inclination that sets you apart from others. It could be tied to the month you were born. January, as we've seen, is a month of creation and leadership. But what about the other months? February, the month of compassion, often gives rise to people with extraordinary sensitivity, able to see beyond appearances. March, the month of renewal, is linked to individuals with the power to transform not only their own lives, but the lives of others. What does your birth month say about you? Let's explore further. If you were born in April, for example, you are deeply connected to the time of Easter, the moment of greatest transformation in Christian history. April is the month of sacrifice and victory. Those born in this month often possess an inner strength that helps them overcome the toughest adversities. They aren't easily shaken because they understand that after every difficulty comes a resurrection, a rebirth. Isn't it fascinating to think that your birth month could directly reflect the purpose God has placed in you? But here's a detail many overlook. The challenges you faced in life are also tied to your purpose. Often the greatest tests are reserved for those with the greatest missions. And your birth month may hold clues about the specific challenges you've been called to overcome. Think of great biblical leaders like Moses, who was born into a time of oppression and called to free his people. Or Esther, placed in the Persian palace for such a time as this. Could your birth also be linked to a special calling? Now, let me ask you this. What if the gifts you carry, the unique abilities you possess, were planted in you by God to be used at a specific moment? Just as Joseph was prepared through years of trials to save Egypt and his family during a great famine, your birth month could be a piece of the puzzle God is assembling in your life. But have you realized this yet? Or are you still searching for the meaning behind these gifts? Let's delve into another intriguing point: prophecies. Time and again, the Bible shows us that God uses signs and seasons to reveal his will. Think of the Magi who followed a star to find Jesus. Their attentiveness to celestial signs led them directly to God's purpose. Could the month you were born in also be a sign, something God used to position you for a special mission? And what if the events around you are part of his plan to guide you to where you're meant to be? As we explore these possibilities, we cannot ignore the fact that God never works through coincidences. Every detail, every choice, every moment in your life carries meaning. This includes the month you were born. But here's the mystery. Are you already living the purpose God planned for you, or is he calling you now to awaken and embrace it? What comes next in this video takes us even deeper. We'll connect the spiritual significance of each month to biblical events and the qualities God instills in each person. And as we do this, you might realize that your birth wasn't just a point in time, but the beginning of a journey meticulously designed by God. After all, your birth is only the start of an extraordinary story he is writing in your life. Every detail, including the month it all began, was crafted with an eternal purpose. The story of your birth holds layers of meaning you may not have explored yet. Picture the universe as a divine symphony where each person is a carefully positioned note composing a perfect melody. The moment you were born, the month you entered this world, is like a signature God placed to remind you that you are part of this celestial harmony. There's something about the time he chose for you that cannot be ignored, something tied to greater, deeper purposes you may not yet fully understand. From the very beginning of creation, God made it clear that time is more than just a sequence of days. It is a space where the divine meets the human, where meanings are revealed. The cycles we see in nature, the changing seasons, and the movements of the heavens are reflections of this eternal truth. Each month, with its unique characteristics, carries a special energy, a spiritual signature. When we look to the Bible, we see that God uses these markers in time to communicate his intentions. Your birth, the exact moment you joined this symphony, is part of this intricate plan. You may not have realized it before, but your life could be deeply connected to a greater pattern. Those born in January, for instance, often carry the essence of beginnings. Like Genesis, they reflect the power to start something new, to bring order to chaos. February, on the other hand, is a month marked by harmony and the pursuit of deep connections. People born during this time often possess a unique sensitivity to feel what others cannot, a gift for bringing healing and balance. These qualities are not random. They are divine gifts, a signal that something unique has been set aside for each person. Yet many go through life unaware of the magnitude of their own gifts. You might feel a restlessness, as if there's something within you waiting to be discovered, something that constantly pushes you forward, but you can't quite define. Perhaps that feeling is connected to the month you were born. Those born in March often feel this transformative force, a renewal energy, calling them to change the world around them. Meanwhile, April, the month of resurrection and liberation, frequently produces individuals with an unshakable strength of spirit, even in the face of the greatest adversities. And here's something even more fascinating. The events of your life may be intertwined with biblical events in ways you've never imagined. Look at Esther's story. She was placed in the Persian palace for such a time as this. Or Joseph, who endured years of hardship before becoming the instrument of salvation for his family. Their stories are not just historical accounts. They are mirrors reflecting what God might be doing in your life right now. Could the challenges you're facing today be preparation for something far greater? And so we arrive at the mystery of purpose. Why did God choose that specific month, that day, that exact moment for you to be born? Could it be that you were called to something specific, just like the prophets and leaders in the Bible? Think of David, a simple shepherd who was anointed to become a king. He wasn't seeking greatness, but God chose him, and every detail of his life, even the hardships, was part of a greater plan. Could the same be true for you? There's more to consider. How you respond to these signs, the clues God has placed on your path, can completely change the direction of your story. Like the Magi who followed the star to find Jesus, you must remain alert to the signs God places before you. They might be in the simplest things, the people around you, or even in the unique qualities of the month you were born. Every detail matters. Meanwhile, the months continue to teach us. May, with its flourishing energy, reminds us that God calls us to grow and bring beauty into the world. June, with its focus on balance and building solid foundations, reflects the call to plan and create. July, the month of seeking wisdom, challenges us to see beyond the surface and find the divine in every detail. Have you noticed how these characteristics might already be manifesting in your life, even without your awareness? Here's something important to remember. The time you've spent searching for answers, facing challenges, or even questioning your life's purpose has never been wasted. Every experience, every moment has been shaping you, preparing you for what's ahead. Just as Joseph only understood the purpose of his years of suffering when he was finally able to save his family, your understanding may also be on its way. And when it comes, everything will fall into place. But until that moment, what will you do with what you know now? How will you use this new perspective to live with greater intention, greater purpose? What you've uncovered so far is just the beginning. There is so much more to be revealed, and each piece of this puzzle leads us closer to a greater truth. Your birth, the moment God chose to bring you into this world, is a testimony that you were made for something extraordinary. With each step and every choice, you are moving closer to the plan God designed for you from the very beginning. There's something profoundly fascinating about how God works through time, how he weaves stories, lives, and moments into a greater plan that we often cannot fully grasp. Yet the truth is that your birth, the month you entered this world, is one of the clearest signs that you are part of this divine design. Think about it. Every detail in creation was intentional. Every season, every cycle, and you are part of this perfect masterpiece. Looking to the Bible, we see how God uses times and seasons to fulfill his promises. The birth of Jesus, for example, happened in the fullness of time, a moment carefully chosen to bring light into the world. But this isn't only about grand events in the history of redemption. Each person, including you, has a moment of arrival, a point in time when God decided to introduce your life into this universal symphony. And this isn't just significant, it's absolutely essential. Perhaps you've already noticed how certain moments in your life seem to align in inexplicable ways, how doors open at just the right time, or how challenges arise precisely when you need to grow stronger. These moments are not random. They are deeply connected to the purpose God wrote for you before you were born. And the month of your birth may hold clues about the role you've been called to fulfill. Consider those born in September, a month associated with harvest and wisdom. These individuals often have a natural sense of organization and purpose, as if they were meant to gather and nurture, both physically and spiritually. But this ability doesn't come without challenges. Just as a farmer must work hard before reaping the fruits of the harvest, those born in September often face periods of intense effort before seeing the results of their labor. Have you recognized how these patterns might be appearing in your own life? Others born in November possess an even deeper connection to intuition and discernment. They have an almost supernatural ability to perceive what others cannot, to understand the hidden layers of circumstances. However, this gift often comes with a burden, the responsibility to use this wisdom for the good of others. It is reminiscent of Joseph in Egypt, who interpreted Pharaoh's dreams and saved an entire nation from famine. Could it be that you too carry an intuition that God intends to use for a greater purpose? Then there are those born in December whose lives echo the significance of Jesus' birth. This is the month of hope, of light shining in the darkness. People born during this period often bring comfort and peace to others, like a flame warming the cold. But with this light comes the need for courage. Just as Jesus faced opposition from the moment he was born, those who reflect this light often encounter challenges that test their faith and resolve. Have you noticed how your life might carry this pattern? What about the other months? Each carries its own unique meaning and spiritual connections. For instance, those born in March often feel a natural pull toward renewal and transformation. Like spring bringing new life, these individuals have an energy that inspires change, both in their own lives and in the lives of those around them. However, this energy can be difficult to channel, and the challenge lies in learning to use it for the right purpose. If you were born in July, there's an unrelenting quest for wisdom and understanding, as though your soul is always searching for something deeper, something beyond the surface. This search can be both a blessing and a challenge, requiring patience and perseverance. You may feel as though you're constantly on a journey, never fully satisfied, but this restlessness is what draws you closer to God's plan. When you finally find what you're searching for, you'll realize it's not just about understanding, it's about living in alignment with that wisdom. And what about May, the month of grace and beauty? Those born during this time have a natural gift for creating harmony and bringing peace. At the same time, they may feel the weight of expectations, as though they must always be the balance in the midst of chaos. This can be exhausting, but it's also an opportunity to lean on God, who is the ultimate source of peace. Perhaps you've felt this tension in your life, this blend of challenges and gifts that seem inseparable. But there's something bigger at play here. It's not just about the month you were born. It's about how God uses every detail of your life to shape you. Every challenge, every victory, every moment of doubt or clarity is part of a process transforming you into the person God intends you to be. And the most remarkable part is that even in the moments when you feel lost or out of place, God is working. He wastes nothing. What if I told you that the month of your birth is just the beginning of this story? That every quality you carry, every unique characteristic, is part of a larger plan that God is slowly revealing? As we continue exploring these truths, start asking yourself, how can I align my life with the purpose God has for me? Because when you do, you don't just uncover the meaning behind your birth, you begin to live with an intention and purpose that transforms everything around you. As we delve deeper into the profound significance of your birth month, one thing becomes increasingly clear. The time God chose for you is not just a mark on the calendar, but a constant reminder that your life has a purpose. Each month has a unique meaning, reflecting different aspects of God's character, and reveals clues about the kind of mission He has entrusted to you. Think about January, the month of beginnings. Those born during this time carry the spirit of newness, of creation. Just as God began the story of the world in Genesis, people born in January have the gift of starting something where there was nothing before. But with this gift comes a challenge. Starting something requires courage, and staying steadfast demands faith. Have you ever felt this creative force within you, even when everything around seemed uncertain? Then comes February, a shorter month but full of meaning. It is the month of sensitivity, empathy, and the ability to understand what many ignore. People born in February have a heart that feels the weight of the world in a unique way. They bring peace amid chaos, but often face the challenge of carrying this emotional burden. The question is, how can you use this sensitivity not as a weakness, but as a bridge to heal and connect others? Those born in March are deeply tied to renewal and transformation. Just as spring brings new life to the earth, these individuals have an energy that inspires change. They have the ability to see possibilities where others see obstacles, but this often places them in challenging situations. What is waiting to be renewed in your life? Could it be time to allow God to do something new in you? April is a month of strength and resilience. It carries the spirit of Easter, the time of victory over adversity. Those born during this period have a natural sense of determination, an inner strength that drives them to overcome even the darkest moments. But this strength can be continually tested. Just as Christ faced the cross to bring redemption, you too are called to face challenges with faith. Have you noticed how these challenges have shaped you into someone stronger and more prepared for God's purpose? If you were born in May, you carry an aura of beauty and harmony. This month symbolizes grace, and those born in it often have the gift of creating balance and peace around them. But beauty can be a double-edged sword. The world doesn't always recognize the value of the harmony you bring. Have you been using this gift to impact those around you, even when it feels like a thankless task? Those born in June have a natural inclination to build. They are organizers, planners, the ones who lay solid foundations in everything they do. Like the wise man who built his house on the rock, these individuals know that lasting things require effort and vision. But building can also be a heavy burden. Are you remembering that you don't have to carry everything alone, that God is the master architect of your life? Now we arrive at July, the month of seeking wisdom. Those born during this time are tireless seekers, souls longing to understand the world on a deeper level. They are not satisfied with surface answers. They want the whole truth. But this search often leads them to moments of doubt or uncertainty. Have you allowed God to guide your search, trusting that He will reveal the answers at the right time? Those born in August carry an inner strength that makes them natural leaders. This is the month of transformation and divine revelation. Just as the Mount of Transfiguration was a place where Christ's glory was revealed, those born in August have the ability to inspire others with their vision and faith. But with great power comes great responsibility. Have you ever wondered how God wants to use this strength in you to transform the lives of others? If you were born in September, you are deeply connected to the theme of harvest. You are a natural organizer and someone who understands the importance of planning and working toward a goal. Just as a farmer reaps the fruits of their labor, your life is marked by cycles of effort and reward. But are you planting the right seeds? Are your actions today aligned with the eternal purpose God has placed in you? Those born in October have a special calling for renewal. This is the month when nature begins its transition, leaving the old to make way for the new. So too is the life of those born during this period. They often have the ability to reinvent themselves, to adapt and grow. But this transition isn't always easy. Have you trusted God to guide you through these moments of change? If your month is November, you carry a gift of intuition and spiritual depth. People born in November often have an almost supernatural connection to the unseen, an ability to discern what lies beyond the obvious. But this gift can also be a burden, especially when others don't understand what you see. Have you been using this intuition to serve God's purposes, allowing Him to guide your decisions? Finally, we arrive at December, the month of light and hope. Those born during this time often have a profound impact on the people around them. Just as Jesus brought light into a dark world, you have the power to bring comfort and inspiration to those who need it most. But with this light also comes a call for courage. Are you living as a reflection of that light, even when you face moments of darkness? Each month, each characteristic, each gift is a reflection of who God created you to be. And as you reflect on the meaning of your birth month, start asking yourself, how can I align my life with the purpose God has designed for me? Because in the end, no matter the month you were born, one truth remains constant. You were created with an eternal purpose, and God is working in every detail to fulfill it. As we dive even deeper into the divine narrative connecting your birth to God's eternal plan, it's impossible not to ponder the impact your birth month has on your life's purpose. The truth is that in every detail from the moment you were born, God left signs that there is something unique about you, something the world needs and only you can offer. And now is the time to begin uncovering those mysteries. When we think about months and their characteristics, we cannot ignore how the Bible uses time to reveal spiritual truths. January, with its energy of fresh beginnings, reflects the essence of divine creation. God bringing order to chaos in Genesis reminds us that every beginning is sacred. February, the shortest month, proves that it's not size or duration that defines something, but its depth. It's a month that carries the power of empathy and sensitivity, a call to connect with others in a genuine way. March takes us to renewal, like spring transforming barren landscapes into blooming fields. Those born in this month often feel a drive for change, as if they are called to revitalize everything they touch. April, on the other hand, is the month of sacrifice and resurrection. Those born during this time often face adversities that shape them into leaders and sources of inspiration for others. It's a powerful reminder that strength doesn't come from the absence of challenges, but from overcoming them. May, with its natural beauty and energy of growth, is the month for those who carry an aura of grace and harmony. These individuals have the gift of bringing balance to chaos, but it often demands constant effort. June brings a different energy, a call to build. Those born in this month often find themselves in roles of planning, organizing, and structuring not only their own lives, but also the lives of those around them. And then we come to July, where we find relentless seekers, people who refuse to settle for superficial answers. They have a hunger for knowledge and a deeper connection with God. But this pursuit requires patience, as answers don't always come at the expected time. August, in turn, is a month of transformation. Those born during this time possess a special brilliance, a natural ability to lead and inspire, yet they also face the weight of great responsibilities. These patterns continue through September, October, November, and December, with each month revealing a unique aspect of God's plan. Yet there is something that connects all these months: the call to fulfill a greater purpose. No matter when you were born, God has placed within you gifts and characteristics that reflect what He wants to accomplish in the world through your life. But here's a question you may have never considered. Have you ever stopped to think about how the experiences in your life, both good and bad, align with the characteristics of your birth month? Consider the challenges you've faced. They have shaped you in ways you might not fully understand yet, but they are preparing you for something greater. And the victories? They serve as reminders that God is in control, orchestrating every detail for your good. For example, if you were born in October, you might have noticed that your life is often marked by transitions. Just like the leaves that fall in autumn to make way for the new, your journey may be defined by constant renewals. Each change might feel like an ending, but in reality, it's a beginning, a chance for God to bring something even better into your life. Those born in November, with their sharp intuition, often perceive connections and truths that others miss. While this might feel like a burden, it is, in fact, a gift meant to guide others on their journeys. Then there's December, a month symbolizing light in the darkness. Those born during this time often have a profound impact on the people around them, bringing hope and peace even in the most challenging moments. But this also means they are called to face great challenges as light shines brightest where darkness is deepest. Have you recognized this role in your own life? What makes all of this even more fascinating is that these patterns are no accident. They are reflections of God's character and the unique plan He has for each of us. Just as the months have their distinct characteristics, you also have unique gifts, qualities planted in you by the Creator. When you begin to see this, everything changes. You start living with more purpose, more intention, knowing that your life holds eternal significance. But there's more. It's not just about discovering who you are, but also about how you can use these revelations to impact the world around you. Have you been using the gifts God gave you? Have you recognized how He's shaping you through the circumstances of your life? In the end, the greatest gift you can offer the world is to live fully in the purpose for which you were created. And as you reflect on all of this, remember, God not only created you with intention, but He also walks beside you, guiding each step. No matter where you are today, He has a plan to lead you to the place where your life will have the greatest impact. The story of your birth, the month in which you entered the world, is just the beginning. What lies ahead is something you won't want to miss. When we reflect on everything we've explored, it becomes clear that your life is much more than a sequence of random moments. Every detail from the day you were born was planned with purpose. In His infinite wisdom, God chose the exact moment of your arrival, connecting you to a month that reflects unique characteristics of His divine plan. And what's most extraordinary is that these characteristics aren't just part of who you are. They are tools God has placed in you to fulfill the role that only you can play in the grand narrative of His creation. Remember how each month carries a special meaning. January, with its spirit of new beginnings, reminds us that God is a creator who continually makes all things new. February brings the beauty of empathy, inviting us to be channels of healing and understanding. March challenges us to renew and transform, while April inspires us with its message of resurrection and strength. May teaches us about grace and harmony, while June reflects the importance of building and planning wisely. The months of July and August call us to seek wisdom and embrace transformation, while September and October reveal cycles of harvest and renewal. November reminds us of intuition and deep perception, while December ends the year with hope and light, echoing the birth of the Savior. Each of these months is a piece of the divine puzzle, and your birth month is a unique declaration of the role you were called to play. But what will you do with this understanding? Because the truth is, knowing about the gifts and characteristics you've been given is just the beginning. The next step is to put them into action, allowing God to use them to impact the world around you. This means trusting Him in moments of doubt, using your talents to serve others, and living with the confidence that your life has an eternal purpose. And perhaps you're wondering, how can I begin? The answer lies in small daily choices, in decisions to live with intention and purpose. Every step you take toward God's plan for your life contributes to something far greater than you can imagine. Remember, no act of kindness, wisdom, or faith, no matter how small it seems, is without eternal impact. Now, as we reach the end of this journey together, I want to invite you to keep exploring these truths. Engaging with this video is more than just an action. It's a way for us to come together as a community, seeking to understand God's divine plan for our lives. If this message resonated with you, leave a comment sharing your experience or insight. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. And of course, subscribe to the Eternal Compass to continue receiving content that deepens your connection with God and the purpose He has for you. By doing so, you're not just supporting this channel, you're becoming part of something greater, the building of a community of faith, purpose, and hope. Your participation helps spread messages like this to more people, allowing them to discover the meaning and beauty of their own stories. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next chapter of this incredible journey that God has written for each of us. May your blessings be abundant, and may your light continue to shine brightly. See you soon.